Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is JGOD. In today's video, we're going to be doing a breakdown of the Korean Savages gameplay. I've already done a few different breakdowns of different YouTubers, and they've all been at the request of the subscribers. So make sure you comment down below if there's any other YouTubers that you'd like to see a gameplay breakdown of. I'm sure most of you watching this video already know who the Korean Savage is, but in case you don't, he is a Call of Duty YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers. And the content he normally focuses on is high energy gameplays, tips, as well as in-game updates. So in case there's some odd reason that you're not already subscribed to his channel, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down in the description below. One thing I really enjoy about doing these breakdowns is you're able to go a little bit deeper than that surface level. And on the surface, it always looks like these players have super easy lobbies. The players don't shoot back. But once you actually start getting into the deeper things in the breakdown, you realize how smart of a player they are, and it's not just reflexes and good accuracy. Just check out how much of an emphasis he put on the mental aspect in the game in one of his most recent videos.
Playing Call of Duty, it's a lot of everything is mental at the game, but a lot of it as well is mental. Everything is mental, so it's not a hack. Everything's mental. Player, a lot of it's mental, like I said.
So you heard it from the man himself. There is 100% a mental component to playing well at Call of Duty. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first gameplay breakdown. After watching these gameplays a couple different times, the best way to describe it is the tale of two different savages, which I'll explain as we go throughout the video. So as he jumps around this corner, you're going to see he pre-aims and almost pre-fires this little hot area where more than likely people are going to be. Anytime he goes through the spawn, he kind of peeks the area. You've seen a little bit of a stutter there. Goes ahead and takes these two guys out. Not sure if the spawn's flipped quite yet. Goes in assuming that there's still enemies in the spawn, and now that the teammate spawned in, you know the spawn's flipped. And I slowed this down just because you can see how he's centered. Before he even saw the guy, he already put his crosshairs to the middle of that little area, and that saves a ton of time when you aim down sight. One other thing that you see a lot of high skill players do is run with this stim shot because they know they can adjust for that damage, take quick cover, heal themselves, re-engage a gunfight. One thing that I really noticed throughout the gameplay is that he's very good at checking his corners and double checking spawn. So he's very disciplined on making sure he does the little things so he doesn't die an easy death. So as he runs to this right side, he's going to run with the shield, take the guy out, and he peeks the corner right behind him because you never know if someone's there. Once that shield runs out, he puts himself in probably one of the best positions you can when the spawns are starting to flip, but you're not 100% sure they did. Goes ahead and throws his 9-bang and look at him check the spawn before he runs out. Does a little quick peek, repositions himself. He's looking at the minimap, takes out this guy pretty easily. And this next little sequence, as he jumps around the corner, you're going to see he's basically pre-firing at the same time he's pre-aiming. He already knows there's two people there. He's taking an aggressive push. He has a close range weapon, and the Spitfire locks on, jumps, takes care of the second guy. And then there ends up being someone behind him. He slides into safety. Luckily, that guy didn't have the most perfect aim, or else he probably would have been melted. But you saw how aggressive he pushed that corner when he knew there was two people coming. And what we're going to see coming up is similar to that push that we saw right at the beginning of the match, where he comes around, jumps around the corner, and basically pre-aims, pre-fires that little section where mostly people hang out. You're going to see him come around right here. You're going to jump around the left side, assuming people are there. He doesn't have 100% concrete evidence that someone's there, but he's disciplined enough to check that every single time because more than likely someone will be hanging out there. And that leads into why I said it's a tale of two different savages, because he plays completely different with a UAV and without a UAV in the air. Obviously, from watching this gameplay, or if you've ever watched any of his videos before, you know he is a fast-paced run and gun type player. But if you look at it closely, it's almost like night and day difference between that UAV and without a UAV. And the main reason for that is because when the UAV is in the air, you got a good idea of where all the enemies are, unless they're running Ghost, but most people aren't really running Ghost in this game. So for the most part, he's going to have a good idea of where all the enemies are because they're going to be little red dots on the minimap. Without that UAV, he's got to play a little bit more cautious, a little bit more passive, still aggressive, but passive, and pay attention closely where your teammates are, give you a good indication of where the enemies are. He plays the game enough to know where every single spawn on the map is and where all the common camping areas are. And that's why you'll notice he does these little twitches to go ahead and check those spawns and check where people are likely to camp. And it's that type of smart play that allows you to win gunfights before they even start. And unfortunately, the better you get at doing that type of thing, on the surface, it'll always look like you're playing against low-skilled players that don't even shoot back. So go ahead and check out this little sequence and watch what happens when the UAV passes. You can see him waiting patiently. Then the millisecond that UAV passes, he goes into hyperdrive and starts picking out these red dots. And I know I've already touched on it, but one thing he does incredibly well is maintain his discipline. And I bring it up again just because he's so dang consistent when it comes to his level of discipline. You're going to see him check a corner, when there's never any indication of someone being there and no one actually being there. But the fact that he checks it so consistently shows how good of a player he is. See, as he jumped around that corner, he peeked it really quick. He runs through this doorway. He's going to go ahead and check spawn, make sure no one's coming behind him, and then gets that easy kill. So we're going to go ahead and transition to the second gameplay. If you are enjoying the video, please hit the like button. If you're brand new to the channel, I typically cover Call of Duty news, in-game updates, best class setups, subscriber breakdowns, as well as other tip and trick videos on how to improve at Call of Duty. If any of that's the content you typically like to watch, make sure you subscribe and turn those notifications on by ringing that bell. What you hopefully notice immediately about the gameplay is he switched the weapon up and is now using a KN instead of that Spitfire. And as a result of changing up that weapon category, you'll notice that his playstyle changes up just a little bit and is no longer in a hurry to get into these point blank engagements. This next little segment just shows how accurate he is. We just saw it in real time. Now we're going to check it out in slow motion. He snaps on this guy, immediately snaps over and takes out the second guy. We'll watch it again in real time. Look at how fast this is. Boom, boom, done. Immediately after, he almost pushes to mid-map and then immediately turns around. And it lucks out that there is someone in this general direction, pre-aims and takes them out. If he was running that Spitfire, he probably would have rushed, jumped around the corner and took the guy out. You can see how the behavior of the actual gameplay changes just a little bit. Obviously, in addition to being a very smart player, we're dealing with a player that is very accurate. And I want to give you guys a sensitivity, since I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of questions down in the comment section below. He runs an 8.9 sensitivity. And by no means should you just go out and copy his sensitivity. I've done plenty of sensitivity videos to tell you that you need to find the right sensitivity that works for you. And it's right about this point, you can see that he recognized there was a spawn flip. As he comes around this left side, you can see him center on this doorway. Look at how perfectly centered that was. He jumps back, goes ahead and comes around here, pre-aims. Probably would have rushed around if he had a Spitfire. You can see him kind of pre-aiming that area. Check out how cautiously he's playing, and look what happens as soon as the UAV passes. He goes into hyped out mode, knows exactly where people are, and starts running down those red dots. And that behavior change is one of the main reasons so many good players are asking and begging the developers to add a hater, Blackbird, or advanced UAV type streak. And if you're new to Call of Duty and unfamiliar with how those streaks work, is they basically work like a UAV, but they work in real time and show the direction of your enemy. And that information is especially valuable when you're trying to flank the enemy, because if they're all looking in one direction, you know you can come around, take all 3 or 4 of them out, get those easy kills, and it'll chain you to that next UAV. Then you'll get that UAV, and that'll chain you to your advanced UAV. And then that advanced UAV will chain you all the way over to that UAV again, and it's an endless cycle of information. So all you got to do is win your gunfights, especially at that point, since you really don't have to worry about map awareness. So let me know down in the comments section below, do you agree that there needs to be an advanced UAV type streak in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and in every Call of Duty going forward? It's so funny watching these gameplays back to back and kind of going back and forth between them, because you can literally see the biggest difference when he's using a rifle versus using that SMG. See, most of his gunfights, you can see he's kind of further back. He's not all the way pushed up the same way he would be with that Spitfire. Probably would have jumped a little bit closer, been aiming down sights, called in that UAV, has a good idea where these enemies are, pre-aiming these hot spots, able to take out guys at range. You can see he's paying attention very hard to that minimap. He snapped on this guy on the left where he thought maybe a teammate would do something, but the guy did nothing at all, and he goes ahead and makes that adjustment. And that just shows you how important map awareness is, positioning, being able to read the minimap, and the use of a UAV is. If he didn't have that UAV up in the air, there's probably no way he would have known that guy was coming from that left-hand side, and he probably would have been a part of that guy's double kill. A few takeaways I have for this video in case you're looking to become a better player are that you need to understand how important it is to read the minimap on a moment-by-moment basis, that you actually need to value the UAV and how important it is to understanding that minimap, and how important it is to be disciplined as you navigate the map to prevent those easy deaths. Before having the opportunity to actually break down his gameplay, I've actually watched the Korean Savage for the past few years. I always saw him as this high energy, high intensity, super aggressive, accurate player, but I never realized how smart a player he was. And that's one of the reasons I really love doing breakdowns, is because you can see what players are thinking by their actions. And there's a lot of subtle things they do that maybe you don't notice at first glance, but when you take that deep dive, there's definitely a lot more going on. And that about wraps up the video. I want to give a special thanks to the Korean Savage for sending me these gameplays. He went out of his way, reached out to me, sent them to me, so I'm very thankful for that. So let me know down in the comment section below, is there another YouTuber that you guys would like to see a gameplay breakdown from? Also, if you liked the video in any way, please hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video over 500 likes. I'd be very appreciative if we could do that. Then if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn those notifications on so you don't miss out on any future content. And hopefully after watching today's video, you'll never forget
or some, you know, mental stuff.
It's a mental game as well, you know? It's a mental thing, but it's really just mental. Like
I appreciate all the support on the channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a great day.